What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Brunch with DESB. I'm your host, Des, also known as DESB, and today the B stands for bye-bye because this is my last podcast in my podcast room. I am feeling quite emotion, just not really like cry emotion, but just like sad because I have had so much pride in like having a studio, in making that for myself and trying to be like a good podcaster. And it's very hard to like leave that. And at our new home, I will not have a studio. I don't know where it would go. It won't be its own dedicated room. At this point, I will have too many fucking kids. Okay. I'd need like a 7-bedroom house to have enough room for like my office, a studio, 3 fucking kids, myself, a guest room. It's ridiculous. Okay. So having a third kid, this third kid has made me sacrifice my podcast studio. Okay. So it is kind of sad. An ode to the room, an ode to the mural, the painting. I mentioned this last episode. I just really hope whoever finds this home in their life has daughters, has a teenager, has something where they do not ruin this room. Like, I just think it's way too cool of a room to just paint over. And it's such a special mural. So anyways, welcome back to the podcast. Happy Sunday. I'm very excited about this week's episode because it is our official spring cleaning episode. And this is my favorite yearly episode that I do, where we talk about purging things in our life, purging people in our life, growing through the dirt, and spring cleaning. It can also result in purging, which I think I've used the word purging like 800 times the past 3 episodes because we've been talking about moving and all that good stuff. But time to talk about spring cleaning. So very excited. With that being said, obviously not a ton of stories to chat on today. I'm actually recording very early. I'm recording like 2 weeks early because I know that this next week and a half, we're going to have a lot of moving, a lot of things that we're going to have to do. And I just don't know if I'll be able to get down here, as well as when we will be signing or when we will be in our new home. Like, I don't know the timeline, and I would rather at least have a video for you guys. So no stories, because by the time this comes out, these stories would be long motherfucking gone, which also is a reminder and sets precedent that everything is so quick. You know what I mean? If something captures our attention, someone's canceled for a day or two, we as a society move on so fast. And it's comical. And trust me, I participate in it too sometimes. You know, we get in a little bit of drama. My ears are perked, okay? Nothing wrong with it, but it is funny how news is so fleeting. We're constantly looking for the next who fucked up, what national tragedy happened, what's going on. Like, we're always looking for bad shit. Isn't that weird? Like, it's a weird, what do they call it? Maybe like trauma porn, I think was a term that someone had used before, where we almost, quote unquote, get off on like bad things happening. And it's quite the fuckery, if you think about it. Because I know a lot of us are obsessed with like true crime, death, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's weird to say out loud, but it is a very interesting human phenomenon. But I think it more so maybe comes down to just the fear of the unknown that can't be studied, right? Like, we can't just like study serial killers' minds and know exactly what the problem is. We can't just study what happens when you die because you're dead, you know, like, so it's always very fascinating. Anyways, let's not talk about that anymore. Have you checked on your life insurance policy? You know what I mean? So it's been quite a busy couple past weeks, and I have still continued to question whether or not to like rebrand the podcast. Like, I know I want to, it's just, I'm not in a rush. I will tell you guys that much. Like, I'm not in a rush. I have other shit on my plate right now. And for right now, we got a good thing going. You know, it's just, I want to evolve. And by evolve, I want to include Wyatt, and I want to like have fun. I want to have a co-host. And sometimes, as talented as I am talking to myself and talking to you guys, I miss, and I long for, I should say, a collaborative space, with a podcast. But I think that Wyatt would be a good fit. And I think you guys like Wyatt. You guys like our dynamic. We're pretty funny. I'm not going to lie about that. And I think it would be a good place to kind of be with all of us. So not a lot of new things coming up because, again, I'm kind of like recording this far out. But I will say Petula Seamless dropped on the 12th. So it's the 17th. Is it also like St. Patrick's Day? Not me having to check that. My dog, Jax, actually turned 8 this year. St. Patrick's Day, when is it? Why? It's not even showing my holidays. Oh, it's because I turned it off. Yeah, it is St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day. No, I'm not wearing green. Fuck right off. Okay. It is Jax's birthday. And yeah, by the way, he's still alive and like he's doing well. He just lives with my mother-in-law. Long story, but he's thriving. We're good. Okay. When I see him, we still have our moments and we're fine. Okay. He understands. I understand. We're in a good place. Doesn't concern you. Okay. Seamless Petula launched last week. We have very basic colors. Okay. The only thing I think that I hate right now is seamless. Like it is a very hard, style to pull off when you're pregnant because typically the waistband is very tight. So it's not giving, like it's not giving any shape. It's not good. It doesn't look cute at all. Like literally at all. It's very hard if you're pregnant. So would not recommend, but if you are not pregnant, I mean, these things are buttery fucking soft, really greatly made. They actually pushed back production like 2 years ago now, I think, because it wasn't up to their standards. And I honestly applaud them for that, but they really nailed it this time around. We have like long line bras, plunge bras, seamless shorts, seamless leggings, all great things. So go check out Petula, code DESB, saves you some money. We have the Tula Cult Classic Cleanser. This isn't like new. Okay. We're just really highlighting it this month. There's nothing that can escape a good fucking facial cleanser. All right. If you're looking for the bare minimum of where to start in a skincare routine, where is it? It's where you wash your face. Okay. It's literally step one. Okay. I absolutely love the Cult Classic Cleanser. I've used it for 6 years. Throughout that duration, I think there's been a little bit of reformulation naturally, right? Science changes, new ingredients are introduced, but really overall, it has remained the same. And I also might be a little bit off about the formulation. With that, you can use code DESB as always for 15% off Tula Skincare. Those are really the only two like newish things kind of going on in launches. God, this blanket gets hot so fast. Like I did say heated blanket, but like not that hot, Likewise, on the other end of the table, or on the other end of my body, I don't know what you want to call it, I am now almost 24 weeks pregnant. Oh, wait. Oh my God, I'm almost 25 weeks pregnant. That is pretty nuts. Okay. July is looking real fucking close right now, and it is terrifying me. Archie's birthday is in like 2 months. Yeah, like 2 months and 3 weeks. Or, well, 1 month and 3 weeks, sorry. We have my nephew, Gio. He just turned 2, or he's going to be turning 2. I'm fucked up with the days, sorry. And time is just flying by. So they tell you time flies when you're having fun, but really in this pregnancy, I'm not having fun. I'm starting to get, you can tell, short of breath. Not even short of breath. It's like I don't even notice I'm doing it. And then I'm heavy breathing. And then I'm embarrassed because I'm heavy breathing. So then I just don't breathe. We're a mess, okay? My back is kind of fucked up. My pelvis hurts. Third baby is killing me. And then I've also found myself wondering, would I just have a fourth? And I'm like, wow, I'm for sure not getting a podcast room if I have a fourth. It's funny how life changes on you. You really do go into it thinking a certain thing, and then you're like, just kidding. I was so stone set on only having 2 kids. Told Wyatt up and down. I gave him every reason for why we're only having 2. And then here we are having 3 with happy hearts. You know what I mean? So it is crazy. Baby is moving a lot. I have my glucose test coming up. We're just chugging along, and it's crazy. Time is flying. Like, does anyone else feel like I just announced I was pregnant yesterday? Like, I feel like it's just going by so fast, specifically this time around. So that's really all that's new in my hood. I don't have too much more to say. Honestly, I just needed to make sure I got this podcast recorded, which isn't always fun. But we will have girl talk, I promise. Like, this is still going to be a good episode. It's just when I can't speak on like news that hasn't happened yet or events, right? So it's kind of a quicker intro than like a typical episode. But you know, sometimes you're going to have that. Like not every episode's going to be a banger. Not everything is always going to be the best ever. And I think I've just really come to embrace that, especially as I continue to like lose brain cells every day. Pregnancy has hit different and I've just learned to accept where I'm at. We are just a few weeks out from 6 weeks to shreds, which is our 6-week fat loss challenge. Now I say fat loss because the goal is fat loss, right? Like we want to see you guys be able to lose weight, transform, do it healthily, do it safely, and do it with an educated brain in your skull, okay? But you can enter any challenge and have any goal. So obviously, like I do every challenge. I can tell you right now, I'm not shredding, okay? If anything, I'm gaining. I got the mass gainer going on. And ultimately, it is what you make it, which is like the best part of the challenge. So that launches April 7th. I also have a special program coming out. I have a pregnancy core program, and I also have a pregnancy program coming out. So a core program separately, and then a pregnancy program in and of itself, so that all of you guys that are pregnant never have to second guess again. Now, obviously, all of my programs I create are made for anyone everywhere. I mean, I've done Bride Guide at 28 weeks pregnant, like all the way to 34 weeks. So every program is made for anyone. I do them all, pregnant, postpartum, etc. But I understand when you have to choose modifications, maybe you're like, oh, is this one good for me or is this one good for me? So the pregnancy program is just going to be fucking straight up. If you're pregnant and you're here, here's what you do, etc. The pregnancy program, the core program, I have it laid out right now as 5 different core routines or more. I'm kind of in the process of recording some new moves as I grow. 5 to say upwards of 10. I'm not set on it yet. Different core routines to do in each trimester. And then including some labor prep, some pelvic girdle stuff, as well as pelvic floor release. So different routines that you can pick. And the thing about this plan that I'm creating is it's called a flex plan. So instead of it saying week 1, day 2, week 2, day 2, it's going to be a beautiful plethora of all of these core routines laid out where every day you can go into it and just go, I want to do that one. I want to do that one. I want to do that one. So you kind of have this opportunity to pick and choose on the days that you want, log them, set them in your calendar, have a scheduled core routine, pelvic floor, whatever you want to do. And then you can obviously favorite them on the app. So then if you're like, oh, I really love this one, you can go back and do that. So it's going to be called a flex plan, which is pretty cool. Flex plan, flex your pelvic floor. So I'm very excited, but I'm working on that and that'll come after shreds. But obviously join the challenge. We can do coached, uncoached, and maybe you'll be coached by yours truly. Okay. I have to say I have quite the Midas touch of being a coach. I love what I do. I'm good at what I do, and my girls thrive. I will say that much. I'm also really funny. If you think I'm funny here, imagine talking to me once a week, one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely love it. So thank you guys for being here. Let's go ahead and jump right into the episode. All right, y'all. Get my hand sanitizer on. Got my lip gloss. Summer Fridays lip gloss. Summer Friday is definitely in my top 5. But it's not my fave. I do love the applicator though. I'll give it that much. This is the color. Yeah, I don't know. Why is it not telling me the fucking color? All it says is vegan on the back. Oh, sorry, vanilla beige. There you go. Vanilla beige. It's right on the front. So spring cleaning, obviously one of my favorite episodes to do, favorite episodes to talk through, favorite episodes to entertain. Because the biggest thing about spring is that we get into this mindset, the sun starts coming out, the birds are chirping in the trees, and we feel the need to purge. I don't know about you, but I love throwing shit away, okay? I love having a sense of new space. I love cleaning up. I don't always take the time to do it, but when that time is right, I'm telling you, I love it. It makes me happy. I'm not a typical Sunday reset girly. It's not like my routine, but I do genuinely love it. When I get in the mood, I'm in the mood and I just want to chuck shit and throw it away, donate it, Goodwill it, whatever. So when we get to the point of the sun coming out, birds are chirping and they're telling you, go purge your closet, purge your skincare, purge blah, blah, blah. You're listening to them. You're hyped for it, right? What we don't often hear the birds tell us is to purge in this. To purge in our phones. Purge mental energy. To purge the person you're looking at. To purge the person maybe you're waking up with. Okay? Birds aren't chirping. Birds aren't telling us that. All right? Probably because the birds are the government spies. They don't want to tell us that. But I digress. Also, I'm just kidding. Don't call me a conspiracy theorist, okay? I'm just fucking around. Now, with that being said, what I try to do specifically whenever I feel called to do it, I do it. But especially spring, I really do ring true to this because I feel like after I come out of my hole in the winter, I have a newfound sense of growth, right? I do think a lot of evolutions occur from the ends of summer to the beginnings of spring. I think as we kind of crawl into our hibernation places for most of us, specifically in the Midwest, we tend to come out a little bit changed, right? We've maybe gone through something. We've had time to sit and reflect. There's a lot of different things that can happen in that short period of time in the winter for us. But every spring, I kind of come out of it. I feel like I've learned some lessons since the past summer. And in this fall, I've learned to always use condoms. And I'm going to run with that one. But outside of that, I also come out in a new phase of life. And we always are. We're always changing and we're always evolving. But specifically in this timeline, I feel like we always get into spring, we see the groundhog, and then we change ourselves. So I try to take a look around me, and not just at my items, not just at my chairs or my trash or my clothes. I try to look around with the people I'm surrounding myself with. And when we think of the people we surround ourselves with, our first immediate thought is probably, okay, well, I don't have toxic family. So first off, you're lucky. But also second off, if you don't, you genuinely have a great relationship with your friends and family around you. That's awesome. But what about the people that you are looking at online? As much as I am a quote influencer, quote online creator, gag me, I am also a consumer, right? I have people that I personally follow. I scroll when I have time. I will say I don't scroll as much as like just someone that uses social media because I usually just work and then I don't want to be on it anymore. But regardless, there are times where maybe I'm following a certain someone or it was a certain brand or something like that. And it just doesn't serve me anymore, right? It's kind of like when you're pregnant. Maybe you've never been there before, but just bear with me here. You're pregnant. You follow all of the how to give birth pages and all of the everything pages, whatever. And then all of a sudden you have your baby and then you start following the postpartum care pages and the kid pages and the kids toy pages. Then you're seeing the pregnancy pages and you're like, this one I don't really like the post anymore because I'm not pregnant anymore. It doesn't resonate with me. Same thing happens when you're intaking someone's content. Maybe someone's content used to really resonate with you. And I think this has affected me a lot because when I grew my Instagram and when a lot of people followed me, I was fit chick Des, right? I was fit. I was lean as fuck. I was a competitor. I was a different person, like literally. As much as I post and I post similar items and I am quite literally the same person. I'm still funny as fuck. Let's just be transparent. At the end of the day, if people come across my profile, they see me now, they might be like, oh, I don't resonate with her anymore. And that's fine. Maybe it's because you're not a mom either. Maybe it's because you went into powerlifting. Maybe you're more into CrossFit. Maybe you are a competitor and you're not watching lifestyle content right now. So even you guys with me might see my page and not feel as connected as you used to be. But you come here and maybe it's a different sense of me that you're like, okay, but I still connect with her, just not with her content. Same thing goes to a lot of people that you guys probably follow. And even if that comes down to friends, like I have a lot of old people that I followed like from college, right? And I'm like, I'm sorry, with all due respect, I don't give a fuck about you anymore. And like that comes off very harsh, but it's like, why am I following you? Your life adds nothing to mine. Happy you're doing well, but I don't correspond with you. And maybe, again, you're not in the same stage of life as me. And it's like, well, whatever. You don't always have to unfollow people. I'm not saying like, hey, if you don't relate to someone, fucking unfollow them. But if it's someone that's taking up your mental energy where it doesn't add to your life, spring clean it. Purge it. Bye, bitch. Maybe it's an ex. Maybe it's a ex-friend. Maybe it's a ex-coworker. Maybe it's a current coworker. Fuck. I mean, just mute them. Like, you don't even have to unfollow them, but mute their posts. Like, if you think it would cause a ruckus, it's funny how the mentality of, oh my God, did you see Selena Gomez unfollowed Hailey Bieber? Like, it's funny how we correspond unfollowing to like hatred, when at the end of the day, it could just be mental boundaries, right? I'm sure Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber aren't the besties of friendsies, but I also am sure they don't probably hate each other. But if they don't follow each other, it's just like, okay, we just don't. Like, it doesn't have to equate to that. So my point is, if unfollowing someone causes a ruckus, that's fine. But clear your head, clear your space, clear your feed. Mute post, okay? Go to their profile, upper right-hand corner. Do it to me. I don't give a fuck. Go mute stories, mute posts. You won't see them. You won't hear of them. They won't be finding you. You're all good, okay? I feel like we've all been in that situation where we kind of fall out with someone, and it literally doesn't even have to be negative. Like, it doesn't have to be like a fuck you, I hate this person. It's just like a we fell out of love almost type of vibe, right? I've had plenty of experiences in my life spanning from fucking elementary school to adulthood of just growing. I used this phrase actually earlier with a client. We were talking about finding mom friends and not really corresponding with friends who aren't moms. And we're like, are we the problem? Whatever. And I used the terminology, I outgrew those friends. And then I thought about the word outgrow, and it sounds so negative, right? Like, sorry, I outgrew you. And you're like looking down at them. So I wish I had a different phrase to use. Whether I'm blanking or there isn't really anything to be said other than that. I don't know how to share it, but you're in a different phase than them, right? You've outgrown your relationship with them. And quite honestly, on the other hand, they could have outgrown it from you too. They're blossoming into themselves as an individual, and you're blossoming into yourself as a mom. At the end of the day, also, when it comes to motherhood, you don't know what you don't know. So when you have friends right now who maybe aren't in the same boat as you, and maybe they don't get it, or maybe they try, until they go through it, they don't know what they don't know either, So always cut them some slack, but it doesn't mean that you're not searching or craving for that community of people who just get you eye to eye. So purge it, toss it, There's a lot of people on my feed that are still bodybuilders. And I'm like, I want to support you, but it just doesn't ring my fancy. Now, I'm a chronic liker anyway. Like, if I go through my feed, I'm constantly double tapping. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not purposely like, nah, never mind. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But I sometimes engage with those posts. I'm like, fuck, I probably shouldn't, because now I got bodybuilders on my goddamn Explore feed, It's like, all I want are like nails, slime, and cake. Okay, like that's all I want on my Explore feed. So regardless, when it comes to purging online, that's the easy part. Most of these people don't know you. It's kind of like that phrase, this isn't an airport, you don't need to announce your departure. And that rings just so true. Like, at the end of the day, you, me, we're allowed to come and go. You don't need an explanation from me. I don't need an explanation from you. We'll probably never meet each other, which, don't get me wrong, is fucking sad. But it's like, if you don't resonate with me anymore, and for some reason I don't resonate with you anymore, hasta la vista. It doesn't have to be that fucking deep. Now, where it gets deep is when you're talking in person. When you got toxic family members, friends that have turned toxic, or maybe even friends that you're not there anymore, And friend breakups are the hardest of hard, It's not easy And it's one of those situations where sometimes, and oftentimes in a lot of friendships, it just happens. You know, there's never really like a definitive point. It's just y'all are living different lives, you know, and everyone comes into your life. And I fully believe this. They come into your life for a reason. You come into theirs for a reason. Remember, this is a two-way street. You are both adding value to each other, right? You both come into each other's lives for a reason. And when that time and that purpose is served, to mourn the loss of a friend is normal, but you know, we can't all be high school sweethearts, right? We all are growing. We're all evolving. Things change. Demographics change. Locations change. Age changes. As much as you might be in your late 20s or even your 30s and you're like, yeah, I know exactly who the fuck I am. You don't. You know, life still happens. And as life happens, you change, right? Maybe trauma happens. You change from that. I have seen my mom and my dad both change completely after losing one of their parents. So, and that's just one splash of trauma that could happen. You know, there's health events, there's life stuff. There's just, also trauma doesn't have to be super dark. It's just, there are events that change you. So for you to be like, yeah, I'm so fucking set in who I am right now. It's like, you're not, you know, you might have a core. I'll give you that. We all have foundations of like who we are, right? For me, I am fucking funny and I'm annoying. That is my core. That's my base. I'm always going to be there, but then I'm going to mature and I'm going to evolve in the other places. So when you're saying goodbye to these people in real life, there's not always an easy way to do it. And it depends on the toxicity level, right? We have like the spectrum of toxic. If they're very toxic, you just fucking cut them bitches off. They don't even deserve a reason, right? And then you kind of like span to this like semi-toxic where you're like, okay, maybe I'll just like let him down easy, you know, start declining things, not reach out as often, you know, stuff like that. And then there's the other part where, you know, maybe you're feeling a certain way and you're not sure if it's reciprocated. So then you're like, okay, do we like talk about this? Confrontation is awkward. Do we chat, you know? And there's not always a perfect way to do it. If you're a confrontation type of person, go off. Okay. Feel free, sit down, have a chat with your friend and like break it off, you know, but a lot of things can be truthfully left unsaid. You can debate with me in the comments, but I think sometimes there comes a point where y'all know, hey, I'm doing other shit. I'm busy doing this other shit. Other person's busy doing this other shit. They got other shit. And at the end of the day, at the back of both of y'all's minds, you're like, you know what? We're just living different lives. That's cool. We can still respect each other, rooting for you in the background, but we're not going to be having tea on Sundays anymore, you know? And sometimes it just doesn't need to be said. And sometimes you also will wonder, okay, well, did I leave that wrong? Was that on me? Was that my fault? And maybe it was. It is what it is. It is what it is, okay? We're not always going to be perfect. There's not a fucking instruction manual for, here's how to spring clean. Chapter 1, getting rid of friends. Chapter 2, getting rid of clothes. Chapter 3, getting rid of your toxic mother-in-law. Chapter 4, you know, like we don't have a manual. Everyone will approach things differently. Everyone will take things differently. And at the end of the day, you are not in control of other people's emotions. All you can do is regulate yours and hope that you can come out the best person in the best situation for how you had to approach it, and however that other person decides to take it is like genuinely their responsibility. You know, you can't make someone take something a certain way. Their mind will take it and run with it how it chooses. And we have no responsibility over that. You kind of just got to surrender, throw your hands up and be like, you know what? Go off, right? Like do your thing. Abundance mindset. Okay. There's plenty of people out there for everyone. There's plenty of friends out there for you. There's plenty of people to support you. There's plenty of people to support your rival business, right? maybe you're someone I know. I've had quite a few talks with some small businesses lately, which I love supporting y'all. And you often ask for advice, hey, I'm a small business online. How do I grow? How do I do this? It's like abundance, babe. You just got to remember there are people for you and there are people for other people that aren't you. And that is totally fine. And let's go back to spring cleaning. If you're a small business owner, and I'm talking to you guys who have emailed me lately, if you're a small business owner or you're trying to do social media or whatever, if there's something out there that, again, is inhibiting you from being your best self, maybe it's comparison, maybe it's, again, like your rival business or someone you want to be, and that could fucking be me. I don't give a fuck. You trust me, do you, okay? But if that is something that you can avoid taking in and you go, okay, instead of this being on my feed, I have to get rid of it. Purge it. Purge it. Purge that other bitch that does Etsy too, okay? Purge that girl who's making mom content too. You know what I mean? If it really comes down to affecting your mental health. Now, at the end of the day, honey, we all got to get better at just being able to look at something for what it is, applaud it, and know, hey, I got my own thing going for me. But comparison, jealousy, it's all very natural as well. We don't have to like fight it so much. I mean, don't let it take over you, but don't act like it doesn't exist. Let's be fucking for real, sis, okay? You're going to sit here and tell me there's not someone you're jealous of right now? You're bullshitting me, okay? We can all be grateful for where we're at, honor where we're at, while still being jealous of someone else's success or whatever. And oftentimes jealousy then turns into being inspired, wanting to be like that person. So let it fuel you in a positive way, I guess is what I'm saying. But also don't be ashamed of having the jealousy. However, again, full circle moment, if it's really bothering you right now, purge it. Get rid of it, okay? Yeah, cleaning is awkward. Spring cleaning is awkward. Purging is awkward. I will take clothes over people any day, But it's hard when you already feel like you don't have anyone. And so maybe you're hanging on to people around you that are just like space fillers because you're like, well, if I don't go get Mexican pizza with Laura at Taco Bell every Wednesday, I'm really not going to get out of the house, or like I'm really not going to have any friends or whatever. When really maybe opening up that time and getting rid of that toxic friendship or toxic relationship or family member, whatever it might be, telling them, hey, I can't be a part of this side of the family, something like that, right? You're freeing up time and space for not only something greater to come in, but also to take better care of yourself. If you didn't get Mexican pizza at Taco Bell with Laura every Wednesday for 2 hours while you guys are chatting and then filling the void with bullshit, you could spend those 2 hours reading a self-help book, going for a walk by yourself, going to the gym, taking a free dance class, going to the YMCA, going for a swim. I don't know, but when you oftentimes eliminate things around you, we bring in space and time to put into better places, allocating that time in a better way instead of feeling like it has to be spent elsewhere. At the end of the day, don't be afraid of marking your own boundaries. That, I think, is what a lot of us fear is, well, I don't want to look like the bad person, again, online or in person, because of unfollowing or because of not interacting with you anymore or whatever. At the end of the day, you have to focus on yourself. If you are not selfish, you will get walked over. I'm not saying that there is not a balance of selflessness and selfishness. There are times to be selfless. There are times to give to others. There's times to whatever, of course. Fucking of course. But if you are not watching out for yourself, what do you have at the end of the day? Right? Anyone could fuck you over at any time. Anyone could pass away at any time. Not to get dark, sorry. Anyone else has control over themselves. The only people we have control over are us And if we have young children, we can control young children. That's pretty much it. But in the act of spring cleaning, you're looking out for you. And it's easy to get, again, caught up in the mentality of like, well, like, am I just being a bitch? Or like, maybe it's just me. Maybe it is. Maybe you are being a bitch. And you know what? You'll fucking learn from it. You know, we're not also meant to be on this world to just make the best decisions either. Maybe you do something that you end up regretting a little bit. Maybe you had a delivery that could have gone a little bit differently. And I'm not talking childbirth. I'm talking the way you're communicating with someone. Maybe you did something and you're like, I could have probably done that different. Okay. Well, we'll go back to the phrase of the day. It is what it is. Like, there is nothing else you can do except show up and try to be your best self. And at the end of the day, if you can walk away from a situation and go, you know what? I did the best that I could possibly in that situation. You might look back a week from then, a month from then, a year from then, and go, damn, you know what? I probably could have handled that better. Okay, cool. Grow from it. But in that moment, if you can walk away knowing you did what was best for you and you approached it in the most sincere way that you could based off the situation, because sometimes certain situations require you to just be a bitch, and that's okay. But if you can walk away knowing that you approached the situation how you needed to, that's all you can do. You can't pass judgment 6 months down the line, a month down the line, whatever, when maybe you've discovered new facts, you've grown, you've matured, like something like that, right? I could look back at plenty of situations I was in as like a fucking late teenager, right? 18, 19, 20, where I was like, oh, I did the most mature thing possible. And I look back now, I'm like, holy fuck, that is not a good move. It is what it is, right? I don't know. I just I've been just thinking a lot lately about my life and where I'm at, and it's really disheartening to be in a place you never thought you would be, but still be mourning things that you don't have. Like, I would have never expected to be where I'm at right now in my business, in my job, like nothing, right? Like, I would have never expected to be doing what I do. But I also have never felt simultaneously, so I don't want to use the word lost because I'm not lost, but like in terms of like parenting, parenthood, friends, people that I envisioned so much differently in my social life. And I just don't have it. Like, I don't have a social life. I do have a social life, like, but half of y'all are my friends here. Like, this is my social life. Hanging out with my sister is my social life. Hanging out with Wyatt, hanging out with my kids. But it's just one of those seasons that I have to like sink into. And maybe you're in that season too. Like, maybe your spring cleaning again is minimal because you're like, I don't have much to clean. You know, like I feel already burnt out. I feel like I've tried to eliminate everything that doesn't fuel me and I'm still not fueled. Maybe it's a season of digging deeper. No pun intended, you know, dig. Get that garden going. Garden growing. You're growing through the garden. Dirt. A poem. But it's not always, I don't know. Yeah, like you might not always feel like you have a ton to purge because maybe life's been doing it for you itself. That's kind of where I feel like I am in the past year. Postpartum to like now bringing on a third, all the change that's happened in my life, my family. It's like, I don't have much to purge because I've been just kind of doing it all year besides physical items. So maybe this episode for you is more of talking to your future self when you have that opportunity to purge again. But if you're in the trenches and you're like, bro, I have nothing even to give, honestly kind of felt like honestly bars, you know, when it comes down, like speaking the truth. Because a lot of times I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, what more is there to give up? Like, holy fuck, I have nothing. In terms of like the only thing I would genuinely purge right now, if I could, would like be social media. And like, I've gone back and forth of doing it, like genuinely taking like a month off or just like going rogue for a little bit. But I think it would be, first off, it would be ballsy, but also like it's quite literally my job. And I am the only income for my family. So doing that would not, it's not just like I need a mental break. Like it would be a big decision. And if it didn't recover correctly, I would fuck my whole life up, So it's not as easy to fucking say that. I do think I could use a good break off, like a good week. I think the week's fine. But when you start thinking with what I do, taking like a month off, weeks off, that's a little shaky for me. Okay. It's kind of like for y'all in relation who, work, maybe stay at home mom, that'd be like moms being like, I'm just like not going to take care of the kids for a week. Okay. You'd probably go to prison. And then if you're a corporate girly, like I'm just not going to show up at the workplace for a month, probably going to be fired. And then your references sources are going to be fucked. They're going to be like, she never showed up. Like, it can trickle down, but in a perfect world, don't we all wish, right? Grass is always greener, right? So don't look at me and be like, oh, wow, she has everything. Like, what a blessing. There's a lot of, the grass is greener on the other side, but also grass is greener where you water it. So choose to pick your situation and your experience that you're in life and water the fuck out of it. Happy spring cleaning, right? Water your fucking self, get wet, go for a dunk, and try not to have the weight of the world on you at all times. And trust me, I'm preaching to myself. Okay. We're meant to fuck up. We're going to fuck up. There's going to be trials. There's going to be tribulations. And it's not fun to say it out loud. It's not fun to say it out loud. It's not fun. It's not fun to think there's something ahead of me that I'm going to have to battle. Right. But it's inevitable. And I think that's why it's so important to just stay so present in every day and take so much care of the energy that you have and what you have to give, because this day could not come back. But if you protected yourself on this day, you had a great day. We're going to sit in that day. I was driving with Wyatt the other day even, and what were we doing? I think we were just even going over to see my sister. And I was like, isn't it crazy how we take every day just genuinely for granted? And I brought up his mom. His mom's 65. And I was like, isn't it just amazing and a blessing that your mom has woken up every day for 65 years? Even me. I'm 28, almost 29. I've woken up every day since being a fucking child out of the womb. I've been able to wake up every day for 28 years. Such a blessing, right? So that's what I'm saying. You got to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Live in the day. Protect your energy. Protect your peace. Find gratitude in every day, even in the shittiest of circumstances. Don't thrive off of the fact of, someone has it worse. Like, don't find peace in just that alone. Like, don't let that phrase be your why. Like, what's my why? Well, I just know someone has it worse. Like, that's fucked up, right? Like, don't let that be your motivator, but allow that to at times ground you for when you're having that bad day, when you're questioning, do I keep going? When you're questioning, how am I going to keep going? You're battling your own battle. Someone has it worse. Someone has it easier, but you got to keep going. Got to keep growing. And whatever is taking up space around you, I'm telling you, get rid of it. Even if it feels scary. I think that's a big part too, is doing things that feel scary lead to the most growth, even if you fuck up, but doing things that feel a little risky, doing things that feel a little bit uncomfortable, doing things that you might second guess and go, shit, was that the move? Doing the things that bring you peace are more important than doing the things that keep you comfortable. Discomfort is uncomfortable. Okay, I get it. That they're synonymous. Okay, but also staying in the same space, staying stagnant, and not pushing forward is even more uncomfortable. So, would you rather get it out of the way now. Purge what you need to now. Start fresh now. Or have to do it when all things go to fucking hell. Your mental health is shit. Your family's shit. You're in a toxic environment, etc. Would you rather do it now or then do it when you're at your lowest and then regret not doing it now? I think I just answered that for you. You definitely want to make sure that you do it now. So spring cleaning, I mean, not the world's most scientific breakthrough of what to do, but it is a DESB breakthrough. Okay, maybe that's what the B stands for this week, is for breakthrough. Okay, because you're going to leave this podcast and you're going to go to your Instagram, you're going to go to your Snapchat, you're going to go to your Facebook. Maybe you deactivate all of them for a while. Do it for me. Not really. Still come listen to this podcast. Okay, don't deactivate YouTube, but do what you need to do for you. Okay, maybe it's even making a game plan, how to get out of your toxic job, how to get out of your toxic relationship, how to cut off a certain family member or a friend, or how to have a hard conversation with someone or something like that. What is going to make you better by April besides joining our 6 Weeks to Shreds challenge? Okay, outside of that, write that down to do, join 6 Weeks to Shreds. What is going to make you a better person from now until April? Game plan it. Game planet kind of reminds me of like a literal planet. Write it down. Go mute some people. Go unfollow some people. And for the next couple weeks, if someone, something, or anything pops up in your feed, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever the fuck, X, I don't know, are y'all on that Threads? If something pops up that disturbs your place in your piece, I want you to mute it, report, not interested, delete it, block it. Sometimes I'll be blocking random people on Instagram, random people on TikTok. If I see some energy I come across, whether it's a Instagram or TikTok from someone specifically, or I'm on someone's post and I see a comment of like this then person being a snarky fucker, or like just bad energy, rude, being mean to someone, I will block them right away. I don't even know your name. You probably don't even know me, but I'm still blocking that energy because I never want it to come full circle to me. If you're going to treat other people like that, you don't deserve to be in my corner. You know what I mean? So I challenge you to do that this week. Sorry that this was kind of like a rambly episode, but I just had a lot on my mind when it came to this topic of just saying goodbye to things, welcoming new things, having awkward conversations, moving forward, marching on, believing in yourself, growing through hard things. The list goes on and on, okay? I am not wise beyond my words. Trust me, I'm taking in half of what I also share, right? I've been actively learning to be better at what I'm sharing while sharing it with you. And it's something you do have to wake up every day and choose to implement, right? But the more that you look out for yourself, I think the better space you'll find yourself in. So just remember, life ebbs and flows. It still goes. You just got to hang on. You got to keep showing up. Even on the days, the weeks, the months where it feels like, why the fuck am I doing this? You got to keep going. Keep working towards the end goal. What do they say? Most people, like the cheesy, like most people exit right before they're about to hit their destination. We don't know when we're going to hit our destination, right? We want to fucking exit every day. I'm like, I've wanted to exit for the past 5 years and I'm still not where I want to be. Okay. But the point is you got to keep going because you never know when that day is going to be. And we kind of operate off of a lottery mindset. Like, but what if it's tomorrow that I take off or I get that promotion or whatever? It's like, we never will know, but we have to just show up every day as if it is that day. Right. And that's kind of the repeated cycle of what some would call insanity, but you just have to make peace for yourself, make time for yourself. And in those times of the quietness, when it's just you and you, all of your 19 personalities, you can hopefully find the peace and quiet in realizing your why, what you want to continue to do and what you deserve. And I only want that for you guys. So thank you for supporting me in whatever way you do, listening here, using a code, liking my posts, being a part of my challenges, my programs, my one-on-one clients, whatever way you've supported me ever or continue to do. I appreciate you. Thank you for helping me get to this space, get to this room, get to this part of podcasting where I just, been getting to know you guys. You get to know me. And I hope we can only continue to grow together in our own little isolated space here that is going to probably turn into like a random office or a room that I'm against. So ta-ta to my gorgeous room. I'm sad. I will take photos to memorialize it, and I will hang them up because it was a good time. For some reason, I don't want to push stop. It kind of makes me sad, but I love you guys. Happy Sunday. And by next episode, it could be an audio only next episode. I'm not going to lie. Okay. But by the next time we get on video, it's probably going to be looking different. We'll have to do a belly check because if you guys saw how big my belly is right now, you'd be concerned that I'm pregnant and have IBS. All right. I love you guys. Happy Sunday and hope you have a great day.